Great, thank you. Can we have the Gardner FFA chapter come on stage to present?
How would I connect this?
What type of, are you thinking about having this display on the big screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there.
Goodness. There we
That's
go.
my bed.
You're good. All right, and do you need this adapter as well? Probably do.
This is my teacher's computer, so I'm not fully sure.
All right. Nope, you don't need it.
Okay, perfect.
So what we'll do is plug in and let's make sure. Let's see what the screen does here. Okay. I'll go cue it up.
Yes. And you and Johnny, and then Sarah and myself.
Are my judges ready? All right, we'll begin. Naha Nina Habin. Nani Sahit Badger Hoppy. Hello, it is good to see all of you. My name is Badger Hoppy. Believe it or not, I am actually part Native American. And this summer, I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. through the Tribal Ag Fellowship Program, which inspired me as well as my fellow officers to share some things that we learned for all of you. Judges, I'm sure you already know, we have set a variety of foods to sample in front of you, and please wait until we share about each type of food and our related project before you try it. I would now like to invite Signe and Journey to present first. Thank you, and enjoy.
Hello. Before I begin, I would like to talk about how we also presented this at our school last week. We had from 7th through 12th grade come and sample our food and listen to our presentations in a rotational fashion. We had lots of positive feedback, and this was just one prep on how we got here today. So we have many topics today, but I would like to talk about some famous Indigenous people today. I'm sorry if you can't see my face, I'm kind of short. First of all, Native American people are not people of the past, as you all know. There are almost 17,000, if not more, people tribally enrolled in Montana today. Remembering Native history along with the Native people that we look up to today is a very, very big significance. First, somebody you might all know is Sitting Bull. He was not just a warrior, but he was also a strong, generous, and knowledgeable leader. He pushed against colonialization and fought for the Lakota identity. I implore all of you to be brave and a generous warrior just like him in all of your endeavors. Next, Maria Tauchief. I would like to talk about her because she was the first Osage American to become a prima ballerina and first major prima ballerina in America. She served as director of the Lyric Opera of Chicago from 1973 to 1974, and she even founded her own lyric opera ballet school. I hope all of you will follow in her footsteps in always pursuing your passion, whatever that might be. So, somebody you guys might know is Molly Burkhart Kyle. She was known for surviving the Osage Indian murders. And according to my history teacher, she's almost one of the primary reasons the FBI was established. Love you, Miss Cody. So, to give a small background, she was a part of an inheritance scheme where she was poisoned but survived in an attempt to take her land as well as any other inheritance. She was deemed incompetent due to laws that were established unfairly upon Native Americans. And I'm going to get back to her, but I hope she inspires you to stand up against adversity. So, let's get into present-day figures. There are many Native American public figures on TV and all over the internet, as you may know. These people use their platforms for advocacy and to inspire many for equality. First, I'd like to talk about John Harrington. He's amazing. He led many air missions and was a part of the Navy, and he was one of the first Native American people to go to space. He also would honor his Chickasaw heritage and brought his own tribal flag all the way to space on his 13-day mission. I hope you take after him and truly reach for the stars. Lastly, I'd like to talk about Lily Gladstone. She is an infamous Blackfoot actress and Montana native. She is firstly really popular because of the movie Killers of the Flower of the Moon, where I talked about Lily Burkhart Kyle earlier in my presentation. She's from the great state of Montana. If anybody here is from Kalispell, she's from Kalispell. And she also has many accolades, including a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture. She uses her platform a lot because she uses it to advocate for women in television and also missing and murdered Indigenous women. She goes on to advocate for everybody, and I hope you advocate for what you feel is important. The last person, I promise, is Sean Sherman, and he is kind of an inspiration for this project. He is not only an activist, author, and owner of his restaurant, but an inspiration due to the book that I used for these recipes, or some of them at least. So, he is Sioux, and if you guys don't know much about the Sioux history, I do have some presented, but they led against resistance against colonialization, were actually the last tribe to get put onto a reservation. And there are about 100,000 Sioux people and people in the Sioux Nation today in America. So if you'd like to see on the screen above me, this is some of their flag, their tribal emblem, as well as some graphics on how their tribal territory has shrunk. So, to get onto my food, you guys can now, I implore you guys all to try the rice cakes. They're very, very simple and are served with choke cherry syrup. And this recipe was actually found in Sean Sherman's book. I had a lot of fun making this the first time around, and it is an amazing recipe. It does not only have economic, cultural, spiritual, and modern day relevance, but is also a well-known and filling snack for many. So, like I said, why? I do have some up there, but I think I'm going to now pass it on to Journey. But lastly, I would like to show you that these people are an inspiration to what you guys can achieve and to use your platform for the better, whether that is reaching for the stars literally or figuratively. And now I'm going to pass it on to my other officer, Journey Browning.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the Northern Cheyenne Reservation, plum pudding, sorry, you're shorter than I am, and language loss in all native languages. So what's sitting in front of you in the little plastic cups is plum pudding is the more brown one, and then berry pudding, which is a variation, is the red colored one. It's made out of sugar, cornstarch, and berries, so it has no allergens. And then for the semblance, plums symbolize patience and waiting for the right thing to happen at the right time. And this dish is typically enjoyed during the Thanksgiving, fall, or harvest time area. And if you would like to save a little bit of that plum pudding for your fry bread later in the presentation, it is suggested that you try to dip the fry bread in the plum pudding. So here's a little bit of background information about the reservation. The capital is Lame Deer, and there are 440,000 acres in the Northern Cheyenne Reservation. The tribal college is Chief Dullknife Community College, and then the reservation has around 6,000 residents out of 12,000 enrolled in the Northern Cheyenne tribe. In the agriculture community, they grew squash, beans, and corn, and have been since the last 400 years, as well as growing a variety of medicinal plants. The wild plums they grew and collected are used mostly for medicinal purposes, but also for a treat like the plum pudding in front of you. An issue that I'm talking about today is language loss, specifically in native languages. There are thousands of native tribes across the nation and even more globally, and they all have their own individual languages. Many of these languages, however, are facing extinction and are considered endangered. Some of the factors that are contributing to this are colonization, assimilation, and the dominance of English language in everyday life, so the opportunity to use these languages is not as common as it used to be. The population of many of these languages, these speakers, is also aging. Without these languages, these tribes lose much of their culture, and without efforts to preserve the languages, these will disappear along with aspects of culture. The Northern Cheyenne tribe and language had 566 speakers, fluent speakers, in 2015, and now they have 344. And if it continues to decrease in speakers like this, the language is expected to go extinct by 2036. There are some efforts in place to preserve these languages, like mobile learning apps and any written documents, and also the older population teaching the younger generations. Now I'm going to invite Summer and Ciela up to our stage to present on their tribes and their issues.
Hi, my name is Summer Saunders. I would like to talk about the Blackfeet. The Blackfeet, a nomadic tribe with a rich history and historical cultural practices. Interactions with the European settlers ultimately led to relocation and efforts to preserve their culture. The Blackfeet I would like to talk about, the Blackfeet are located, the reservation is located in northwest area leading up into Canada. I would like to talk about fry bread, which is the donut-shaped item. Disclaimer, this food contains dairy and gluten. I would like to talk about how fry bread is a more recent food. Fry bread was introduced after Native Americans resettled on reservations. Fry bread is an easy food to make with the non-perishable food items the U.S. government provided. With fry bread, to get a lot of food with a small amount of ingredients, making supplies last longer. I would like to talk about unemployment. Unemployment is an issue that affects many people, especially after the pandemic. Unemployment on the Blackfeet Reservation was over 60%. The average rate of unemployment for Montanan reservations is around 40%. Native Americans have the highest unemployment rate of any racial ethnic majority group, with averaged unemployment rate of 10.5%. I know that I talked very brief, but unemployment affects thousands of people all around the U.S. Thank you. I will now pass the stage to Ciela.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Ciela. I hope that all of you are enjoying your food so far. So we're going to get into the Crow tribe. The Crow are a Montana Native American tribe known as the Apsaluka, meaning children of the large-beaked bird. They're known for their strong clan system, language preservation efforts, and traditional practices centered around bison and horses. The Crow tribe is a previously nomadic tribe that has settled on 2.2 million acres of land spanning across Bighorn, Yellowstone, and Treasure counties. Their current reservation, the Crow Reservation, is the largest in Montana. About 7,900 of the Crow tribe's enrolled 11,000 members live on the Crow tribe. The Crow are one of the larger agricultural producers within their reservation, growing wheat, hay, and vegetables, as well as producing quality market cattle. And a native dish known as pemmican, the Crow use dried berries such as chokecherries. The berries are prioritized over others as they are abundant in the late summer and early fall when other options are scarce. Chokecherries are also popular due to their high calorie count and ability to energize a person. While traditional Crow pemmican makes use of chokecherries, bison meat and fat, as well as deer and elk meat, modern pemmican can be made using cranberries, blueberries, and cherries, as well as beef meat and fat, which is what you have in front of you, the more modern version. North American natives, including the Crow, developed the dry meat, fat, and berry mixture to stave off hunger between hunting seasons, as pemmican can last between 1 and 5 years. Pemmican has been utilized by not only Native Americans, but also modern hunters looking for a long-lasting energy source. As well as being large agricultural producers, Montana Crows are known for their powwows, called Crow Fair, held annually in August. Today, there are over 900 powwows held in the U.S., and approximately 15 of them are held in Montana. Powwows are one of the largest gatherings of Native Americans in the U.S. Powwows, initially tribal ceremonies, evolved into intertribal celebrations, encompassing dance, song, crafts, and food. that became a way for natives to share culture and reconnect with each other and to the general public. Overall, the Crow are a tribe crucial to the cultural development of Montana. Thank you, and I will now pass it off to John and Badger.
Hi, I'm John Saunders, and I am going to talk to you about loss of land, especially with the Northern Arapaho. I would invite the judges to enjoy the salsa, which is a peach and blueberry salsa, at this time. The Northern Arapaho, this is their tribal flag. They were pushed from the Great Lakes region due to colonization in the early 19th century because of the Homestead Act. With that, they started out in the Great Lakes region of the U.S., which is a nice, luscious area that grows a lot of different wild berries and game. They were moved to the Wind River Reservation, where they lost all access to wild edibles and berries and such that they were used to. This was a great harm to them in the way that they had to relearn how to hunt and fish and survive, essentially, and had to go onto the government subsidy program that was provided during that time. The tribe itself is located on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming. It's about 500,000 acres, and they have about 7,000 members on reservation and 9,000 total. With this, I was given this topic and not sure how to start. So I decided to look up what are some basic things that they have lost. They have lost a lot of their culture and members. They used to be upwards of 500,000 people present in this reservation area in the Great Lakes. Now, they still reside in Canada, which is where they live because they were not forced out of there by the American government, but they have dwindled down in numbers earlier. The salsa I made contains parsley, lemon juice, red bell pepper, peaches, and blueberries that were frozen. That's what it will look like. I invite you to eat after we are done presenting. Thank you.
Before I finish this presentation up, I would like to thank the other officers. I couldn't have done this without them, and I pretty much voluntold all of them to do it. I am very passionate about this project, and I thank you guys so much for doing this with me. As I mentioned earlier, I am part Native American from the Grovant tribe that me and my mom are tribally enrolled in. Grovant, also known as the Ani, translates to white clay people, which can help explain why I'm so fair. There are over 7,000 members of the tribe, but only 3,429 people live on it. Now, we can talk about the food I'm sure you guys are excited to eat. Today, I made sunflower seed cakes that use syrup, sunflower seeds, and some cornmeal. I invite you to partake in eating it because it is my favorite. The significance of this dish is more of a treat after a great hunt or something of the sorts, and it was like the tastiest thing that was around then. And now, the problem that I would like to talk about today are the Gardner bison hunts. If you look on a Montana map with all the reservations, you might notice that Gardner is one of the towns that are the farthest away from any reservation. And that doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of Native American activity. Annually, there are bison hunts that take place right outside Yellowstone National Park, and it is such an honor to be there. I have personally been able to witness some of these hunts, and I think it is an incredible opportunity that Native Americans can partake in. However, this does not come without controversy. Unfortunately, some people believe that the hunts are inhumane and hurt the wildlife. But I would like to point out that this hunt is one of the best traditions that Native Americans can partake in from thousands of years. And just because some people don't believe that it is the right thing to do, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be allowed to do it. Once again, I would like to thank all of my officers, and I would like to thank these people, Heidi Saunders, Cheryl Hoppy, and Ciela White, for making these foods while we have been extremely busy at state convention. And for all you audience members that are just dying to have some of the food, there's a finite amount, but I recommend that some of you get as much as you can because it truly is delicious. Thank you all so much for listening to this presentation.
We did start this project very ambitiously, and we wanted to do many things, whether that was dispel stereotypes or teach people about culture. But I think one thing that we could all connect to is food. So, like Badger said, I do invite as many of you guys in the audience that are willing to come to our table on this side of the stage and sample some of our food. And I hope you guys all enjoy. And once again, thank you so much. Have a great day.
I'm not exactly sure how this goes, but do the judges have any questions? While the judges are getting set up for questions, this is a TAF pin that I was lucky enough to get from nationals, or not nationals, well, from nationals as well as WLC when I had the amazing opportunity to go with them for an exclusive event where Native American kids could see extra things that were not on the normal WLC tour. I invite anyone who is Native, you should sign up for it. It is extremely fun, and so you will gain so much knowledge and experience from it. All right, do my judges have questions?
Hello. Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. Just kind of seeing your presentation, I've seen a lot of different cultures, traditions, aspects. I just wanted to know if any of those kind of had any significance to any of your members, or possibly just what was in Montana. Just kind of the thought process behind your guys' presentation.
Well, I'll start. As I mentioned, I'm part of the Gros-Ventre tribe, and this is really, I don't want to say it like this, but this is my project. Some of them probably didn't want to do this, but I made them, and I am so grateful for that, and I find it extremely fun, and I'm very passionate about it. I'll let the rest of them talk if they want to.
We didn't hear the questions.
They didn't hear the question, so could you repeat it for them?
Yeah, there was just, a lot of different things in your guys' presentation, so I just kind of wanted to know, if anything was kind of significant to any of your members, or if it was just specifically kind of in Montana.
Well, I only found this recipe for my food specifically in this book. Our school does this amazing thing called Farm to School, where we got this book from. And I guess the significance was we really wanted to spread love on very many cultures, whether that was a small tap on them or a very large deep dive. I know that we didn't get all of the representation possible, but I think we just wanted to represent Montana as well as possible with all of the tribes they have here. And I know that we had a lot of fun making these different foods. I personally spent hours and hours cooking them the first time around, so I just hoped you guys enjoyed, and that's all that we have significance to.
Hi, can I see? So I know that in our country today, healthier food choices is something that a lot of people are talking about. And I know that American Indian cooking and foods is one thing that is kind of on the forefront with the sous chef and other things. What are some ways that you could advocate for these foods and ingredients further than just your presentation here?
Yeah, so my food was pemmican, and as I mentioned, pemmican is a traditional Native American dish, but it can be made in a modern way. So traditionally, pemmican is made with bison and elk meat, but today it can be made with more accessible meats like beef and deer. So I think that just by taking a traditional dish and modernizing it with some of the ingredients that we have available now is how we can help spread the word and help get across Native Americans are not just our traditional people. They live with us now, they are with us now. And I think that we can integrate that into our food.
I would like to say, even though my dish, fry bread, that I talked about, is a more recent food, my ag teacher brought up a great way. She made tacos and used the fry bread as technically the shell. She said they were really good. I'll have to try it. But when I was researching fry bread, I learned that it's not like the most fulfilling food. It doesn't have all the stuff you need, but it is a really good thing that you can make so much with so little amounts that you have. So yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I have one question for the judges. I know everyone seems to be dozing off, but what was your favorite food? Well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm sorry, my FFA advisor and my mom really wants you guys to try this food. So, audience members, go get that food. It's yummy.
Thank you, Gardner FFA, for your informational presentation and all of the delicious food that you have wonderfully made, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Judges, we will give you a few minutes to collect your scores. If the Lame Deer chapter would like to get ready to go on stage in a little bit.
be quick. I'll just announce my name and then.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Like, is that the mic? Sure. Judges, and then just give me the thumbs up. The floor is yours.
You tell me when to go.
Okay.
Whenever you guys are, yeah. What was that?
Yes, I can make an announcement. Just as soon as we're all right. Judges, are you ready? Great. Next up, we have the Lame Deer FFA chapter, and before they begin, we have one quick announcement. Right after the scoring is done for the final round of this competition, would both teams please make their way to the photo booth to each grab a picture with Angelina? Thank you. Lame Deer, you can begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kamani Frazier, and I'll be sharing some facts about the Native American hand games. Native American hand games are traditional games that have been played by various indigenous tribes across North America for centuries. These games often involve teams of players who use their hands to conceal and reveal objects, typically small items like sticks or stones, while the opposing team tries to guess their location in which hand. The games serve not only as entertainment but also as means of cultural expression, storytelling, community bonding. They are often accompanied by songs and dances, reflecting the rich traditions and spiritual beliefs of the tribes. Hand games are a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of North American cultures, highlighting the importance of play in social cohesion and cultural preservation. Although there's a lot more insight on Native American hand games, the playing of the games will show and maybe answer some questions. Go ahead, Shelby.
Good evening, my name is Shelby Fisher. Today we will be showing all you ladies and gentlemen how we play Native American hand games. Oh. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're basically playing for the sticks that are in the middle of us. And we're playing for all 14 of them. So when there's a head guesser on the team, and as she guesses, she gets the bone. If you guys want to, you guys can come and play and kind of come get the gist of things. If you guys would like to come up here and play with us.
QVC, this is the age of possibility. It's you in bloom.
Is this on? Oh. So what we're playing is hand games. I'm not really sure what style they're playing, but there's many different styles to hand games. But the hand game sticks look like this. And this is, there's two sets. There's 2 sets for each team. There's 11 sticks. This one being your kick. This is the very first point that you get for either team. And then you would pick a color. So this is yellow and this is blue. And these are 2 separate teams. And these are your bones that you're hiding. There's 2 sets. 2 different people would hide these on each team. And they're hiding together first, matching, trying to find each other. And there's 1 guesser on each team. You're looking for the clear bone without the tape on it. So there's a difference. And if to win the point of hand games is to win all the sticks, so you'd win all 11 sticks together. That will wrap up our things. Judges, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. It's on now. So you mentioned a little bit about like certain styles. What like is the difference between like the styles?
The way you hide, right? There's some difference conclude with the sticks. Some have 14 sticks? More than 11 sticks. Some tribes do 14, some do 11, some do 10. There's all different types of sticks, and that's mostly the difference. And another difference is hiding. So I don't know if you can see the difference or not. This one might be better. Some only look for the clear. This is the clear bone, and this is the one with the tape. Some of them look for this one, and some of them look for this one. So that's one of the difference. Did you guys have any more questions?
I just may have missed it in the beginning. The mic was a little quiet, but what tribe and stuff are you guys from?
Oh, I'm sorry. So we're the Lame Deer FFA chapter. We're Northern Cheyennes, and yeah, what style were we playing? We're playing Cheyenne style. So yeah. Thank you guys for your time.
Hinababa ichik bachajik. That means today is a good day. Dishodaji. Diwagamichik blaja chugia ishtinishuk biak upsalagabia. Hello, my name is Angelina Toinita, but my given name is Prayer Road. I am from the Upsalaga and Laguna Pueblo tribe, and I am this year's Miss 2025-2026 Miss Indian MSU. Not too long ago, I was also one of these members presenting on this stage for the American Indian presentation. So I'm so glad to see that we have so many teams this year and that we are still treasuring the tradition. So I thank both Gardner and Lame Deer FFA for coming up here and sharing everything that they showed us today.
Yes, no, sorry. But no, take your time. I was just seeing stuff.
I scored something wrong.
It was nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
I think those guys are waiting for me over there. But. On the bottom it asked for it, but I'm not sure. I really butchered my scores. I did not know how to write.
I feel like they did forget to announce whatever this was.
Yeah.
Doing good though.
I have no idea. I don't know who needs to come grab it, but. Are you guys all set and ready? Because we're going to introduce the first one. I know it's cold in here. I'm so sorry. Good afternoon. We are now going to start the junior finals for the. Can you hear this one? Can you hear me now? Perfect. Hi, my name is Sierra Hebert, a superintendent for the junior and senior Creed speaking career development events. We are now going to begin our junior finals, and our first presenter is Layla Dice from Miles City.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture with a faith born not of words but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturalists in the promise of better days through better ways. Even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly, with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturalists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert influence in my home and community which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
Let's see if this is on. It is. We have a few questions for you. And the first question is, how can honest wealth help create an abundant life?
May you please restate the question?
How can honest wealth help create an abundant life?
Honest wealth can help create an independent life for so many reasons. If you work hard for your money, then you are not going to feel guilty when it comes to living an independent life. There's no such thing as a free meal, and I myself know this. My grandma and grandpa took over the land from my great-grandpa, and they have worked hard every step of the way. They are making good, honest wealth, and they are sharing their experiences with their kids and now their grandkids, so they can live an independent life knowing that they have worked for it and they have earned it. Thank you.
Why is it important that people in agriculture get through the discouragements and discomforts of agricultural life?
It's important that agriculturalists know about challenges, pleasant and discomforts of agricultural life for so many reasons. Not only will there be good times, but there will also be bad times. We cannot only focus on the good without seeing the bad. We can learn from our challenges, but we can also build upon the good things we do. No matter what happens, we must prevail, because no great person has ever stopped with being accepting. They strive for greatness. So you need to see that not only will bad things happen, like for example, natural elements, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, etc. But while there's bad, you must see the good. If one of my fences at my home tore down, but now we know that that can happen, so we moved it farther away. We have learned from the discomforts of agricultural life. Thank you.
What better ways can you participate in your chapter that will provide better days for your fellow FFA members?
While I am only in the 8th grade, I can still do some improving because I am young. I am participating in leadership activities, and so I am working toward becoming more active in the chapter. I would like to reach out to other members, not only from my chapter, but from the entire Montana FFA, and if I go farther, more places. I can't wait to meet more people and share my experiences. I will go to more community services. I will go to more workshops and get into more little clubs to help our chapter through a bunch of motions so we can have better days through better ways. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Test. All right, guys.
And our next junior creed speaker is Natalie Delcamp from Huntley Project.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturists, in the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly with such knowledge and skill and as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
All right, Natalie, we have a few questions for you. The first one is, how can honest wealth help create an abundant life?
Honest wealth can help create a better life by, well, of course, you have to have a good farm first. So then if you have a good farm, which produces a quality crop while maintaining profit in a favorable market, that would be honest wealth by you keeping trust with your businesses and with the people that you sell to, and you can use that honest wealth to help yourself in the future.
Why is it important that people in agricultural get through the discouragements and discomforts of agricultural life?
In dealing with crops and animals and Mother Nature, of course, there are many discomforts of agricultural life, such as producing and having to sell a crop or a product in an unfavorable market, or losing an animal when it's birthing. And we have to deal with those things because they occur so often that if we just gave up immediately, there would be we wouldn't be able to have our nation. We wouldn't have the clothing, the food, everything that we need to survive, and we wouldn't have agriculture as it is today.
What better ways can you participate in your chapter that will provide better days for your fellow FFA members?
My chapter provides a lot of opportunities for me to help support the public and do more in my chapter. That would be even working something small as working concessions, and even something as big as helping out people like the elderly at a nursing home. We've done all that, and it's very rewarding for me, and it makes me feel good to help other people feel good. Thanks. Do I take this?
And our third Junior Creed speaker finalist is Trey Butcher from Cascade.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by present and past generations of agriculturists, and the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm, or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits, is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life, and hold an inborn fondness for those associations, which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
We have a couple questions for you. The first one is, how can honest wealth help create an abundant life?
Honest wealth can help create an abundant life because without honest wealth, nobody is going to truly get anywhere in agriculture. Honest wealth is being able to make good bargains without any of the shady deal side of things. You're actually giving the true money needed for something, and everything has its true worth. So if truly you're doing the right thing on the inside and moving things along how it's supposed to be, then you're going to have the true abundant life.
Why is it important that people in agricultural get through the discouragements and discomforts of agricultural life?
Can you repeat the question?
Why is it important that people in agriculture get through the discouragements and discomforts of the agricultural life?
In the agricultural life, there are many challenges that you have to overcome. But these agriculturists are able to overcome these challenges because without it, we wouldn't have our day-to-day agriculture. Agriculture provides everything for us: our clothes, our food, and our homes. And without these agriculturalists facing these discomforts and discouragements, we would not have any of this. So these agriculturalists working to move past these difficulties has truly created a good life for all of us.
What better ways can you participate in your chapter that will provide better days for your fellow FFA members?
Some of the better ways that you can do in your chapter to create better ways or better days for the other members of FFA and our chapter is just doing things in your community and day-to-day good things. If you work in your community, you'll be able to get to know the members and be able to do good things, many good things. You could volunteer at a church, or you can help clean up the community, allowing other people to have better and a cleaner environment. Thank you.
Check. Perfect. And for our last Junior Creed speaking finalist, Emily Toombs from Roundup.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturists in the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging, for I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life, and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community, which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
Okay, your first question is, how can honest wealth help create an abundant life?
Honest wealth is something that we are proud of, something that we worked for. Without honest wealth, we cannot live an honest life. And a life that's not honest is not abundant in joys. When I work with my grandmother, it is the most rewarding experience knowing that at the end of the day, our cattle and the rest of our ranch is well taken care of. And I get that joy knowing that I did it myself and I was the one who did it. I know that what I'm doing is right and it is honest and it's a hard-working job that I earned. And that makes my life abundant because I know what other people have to do the same job as me. I can fully respect what others do as well as what I do, making my life abundant from the honest wealth that we earn.
Why is it important that people in agriculture get through the discouragement and discomforts of agricultural life?
May you please repeat the question?
Why is it important that people in agriculture get through the discouragements and discomforts of agricultural life?
And discouragements and discomforts are everything to us. When we have a discouragement, we learn how to do it right, how to do it better, and that brings us joys. Those discomforts are necessary for us to continue. Discouragements are the reason why we find better ways to do things and gain better days. Our discouragements give us better technologies and reason to find better technologies and ways, which gives us joy because we found out how to do it. We need those discouragements to have those joys to give us the agricultural way of life.
What better ways can you participate in your chapter that will provide better days for your fellow FFA members?
Every time our school has what we call a Blitz Day, it's half a day that ends at 12 o'clock. And every time we do that, we encourage every FFA member to come to our gym where we discuss things for our chapter to do. Sometimes we discuss how do we want to raise money. At one of these times, we decided what color sweatshirt and design were we going to sell to help raise money for our chapter. If we hadn't done that, I wouldn't be right here in front of you because we had to find a way to pay for districts and everything to get here. And we kept doing that, not even just with sweatshirts, but every time we had a meeting. And it allowed everybody here from my chapter to experience this entire thing, even if they weren't competing. And that's how we make everything better for our FFA members.
based off rubrics. It's up to judges' discretion, so. Okay, yeah. It's, no, because we do it based off of rank, so it's how it, like, we don't put the rubric scores in there, we do the rank scores, so. Like, we average the ranks, and then that's how they come. So, if you guys are ready for senior, just like I said, we had that white, you found it, the stop sign. You can go ahead and skip past that, and those are the new questions for seniors, just remember that. That's basically all. Check. Alrighty, for our first Senior Creed speaking finalist, we have Taylor Hani from Park City.
Good? Okay. The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturists in the promise of better days through better ways. Even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining. In the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so for others as well as myself. In less need for charity and more of it when needed. In being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
First question for you. Describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of today's agriculture industry.
Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. It's kind of a long question. Describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of today's agriculture industry.
I think producing and marketing the product of our toil in today's industry is not only making the stuff that we make, but also showing it to everyone, showing them how we make it, just to make them better realize what we are doing and how we're doing it.
What does it mean to play square with others?
I think playing square with others means that when I think of that, I think of the golden rule. Like, you need to treat others how you want to be treated. If you want to play square, you need to treat others exactly how you would want them to treat you. So you can't treat others a different way just because of how they are.
If you were to explain the FFA Creed to someone unfamiliar with it, what would you say?
I would say that the FFA Creed is really a showing of how much you truly believe and love agriculture. This was the way that E.M. Tiffany showed everyone how he loves agriculture and how he will continue through it and how he wants other people to come up and take that responsibility and show it to the rest of the world. Thank you.
Check. And our second Senior Creed speaking finalist is Shalise Stone from Geraldine.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturists in the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm, or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits, is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life, and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly, with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the products of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself. in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community, which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
Your first question is, describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of agriculture or the agriculture industry today.
I believe that producing and marketing the product of our toil in my life is when I'm able to sit on our farm. A couple weeks ago, we had our family annual bull sale. We raise these cows from pulling the calf out of the mom or letting the mom have the calf on our own to these amazing bulls that we are able to sell to our community. To me, that is what producing and marketing the product of our toil is.
What does it mean to play square with others?
I believe that when we are supposed to play square with others, we are supposed to be truthful, honest. E.M. Tiffany writes this in the Creed that we are supposed to have honest wealth. And I believe that in order to play square with others, you have to have honest wealth. An example of this would be, like I said, we have an annual family bull sale every year. And if we were to have a cow or a bull that had a past injury or blemish, and we were selling it to a customer, we would have to tell that customer about that past injury or blemish. That is playing square. It's being honest. And in doing that, you are telling them what could potentially be a problem, which will then be able to let them know how to fix that later in life, which will further their happiness.
If you were to explain the FFA Creed to someone unfamiliar with it, what would you say?
I would say that the FFA Creed is our way of living today. The word creed means a set of beliefs that create a guideline. And I believe that that is exactly what E.M. Tiffany meant when he was writing it. I believe that the FFA Creed is how we are supposed to live as agriculturists. So if I was explaining the creed to someone who didn't know what it meant and had never heard it before, I would tell them that the FFA Creed describes our way of life. It describes the passion behind one of the greatest careers that you could ever have in life. Thank you so much.
Our third senior Creed speaking finalist is Amelia Johnson from Plentywood.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturists, in the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly with such knowledge and skill as I can secure. And in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in a life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community, which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
Your first question. Describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of today's agricultural industry.
Could you repeat the question for me, please?
Describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of today's agriculture industry.
As a small farmer, I know the toil, the hard work, the hard labor that goes into producing and marketing all of our goods is incredibly hard. I know getting up at 5 a.m., going and feeding those cows, going and harvesting those fields is not an easy feat. I know that the public relies on us, that their entire life falls into our arms. And I know that through our toil, through our hard work, we produce and market everything around us.
What does it mean to play square with others?
In my opinion, playing square with others is everything you interact with. Between being friends and maybe not being so friendly, you have to play square no matter what. You have to be kind. You have to push yourself to be the best you can, not only for yourself, but for those other people. Not everyone is going to get along with you, but you need to at least pretend to give your best effort in order for everyone to care about you and care about the things you need to accomplish.
If you were to explain the FFA Creed to someone unfamiliar with it, what would you say?
If I were to explain the FFA Creed, I would start with what it means to me. The FFA Creed has been everything I've worked for since October. The FFA Creed encapsulates not only all of agricultural life, but all of those key principles you need. Between leadership and caring for others, the FFA Creed teaches us everything we need to know. All of those key principles fall within the lines of the FFA Creed. From I was born, I believe in the future of agriculture, to the very, very end, we are taught everything we could possibly need to know.
The last one, get mic'd up now, and then I'll just have you guys rank, and then you guys be free to go. Just as long as you have the contact sheet at the front of your binder filled out, that's all we'll need. So, very front. Yep, just in case if we have discrepancies or can't read handwriting or something, so we can get back to you. Yeah, that works. Are you guys just about set for last girl? Alrighty, and for our final senior creed speaking finalist, we have Hadley Shobe from Fergus.
The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born, not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturists. In the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits is pleasant as well as challenging. For I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which, even in hours of discouragement, I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community, which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
First question, describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of today's agriculture industry.
Can you repeat that, please?
It's a long one. Describe what producing and marketing the product of our toil looks like in your view of today's agriculture industry.
Producing and marketing the product of our toil is showing off our hard work and showing the public what we have done and how we can keep improving upon it. Thank you.
What does it mean to play square with others?
Playing square with others is being honest and true and not cheating them out of what is theirs. Because that is what I would want someone to do for me, and that is what I am going to do for other people. Thank you.
If you were to explain the FFA creed to someone unfamiliar with it, what would you say?
I would say that the creed is a way of life, and it's a list of our values and what we go by and what we try our hardest to be. And that is what I try to live by every day.